English 11 final presentation. First question is, how are you empowered by being able to communicate effectively? Well, to begin with, I've learned that over this course that if you can't communicate, you can't do presentations, you can't write an essay, you can't give feedback, and those are all important things that you need to succeed, not just in English, but in life. If you can't contribute to a conversation with Socratic circles or in just a discussion with your friends, you can't get anywhere because you can't build off your knowledge that you know. It's just like how elders, how they pass on information or knowledge to the next generation because they don't have books that they read. They get taught it through speaking. And knowledge is a great thing in this world. If you have it, you can get farther in this world than most people. My second question was, how has your understanding of self been deepened by making connections through literature? Well, to begin with, we've read so many short stories over the course of this class. We've read The Egg, The Scarlet Ibis, Lord of the Flies wasn't a short story, but it was a story. We've read Gentlemen, Your Verdict. And throughout every single one, it made me realize that not everyone can make choices right, and not everyone can do the right thing all the time. And that's made me understand that I may not be perfect and I may not make the right choices, but no matter what, I will still be there and can contribute to the world. Also, in Gentlemen, Your Verdict, he had to make a hard choice. Now, there is one very hard job to be done, but it's one that can be done only by men with families. There's also good stories and bad stories. I consider an escape story a bad story when it comes to learning knowledge because you're there to escape from your reality, from your world where you're stuck. But in interpretive, it makes you think, it makes you confused sometimes because sometimes it will jump back and forth between time, but it teaches you a lesson. It teaches you about the history or the past of something. It may be confusing, but once you learn the point, it's a good story. And for my final question I did, how has the exploration of text and story deepened your understanding of diverse, complex ideas about identity, other, and the world? Well, to begin with, I found that my identity poem really shined a light on what I'm learning or what I learned because we saw the stories, we heard other poems, and they were all inspiring. But also from my small social justice lit circle book, The Help. When I was reading that, I was bouncing through different perspectives because in the book it goes from the main character, Abilene, to a different maid named Minnie, to a white woman who is struggling with her parents because she wants to do something else. But that's not the only problem in that book. It's that she starts getting asked questions by a white woman and gets scared because she doesn't know what to do. And that showed me that stories can be more diverse than just she's a black maid. She's struggling with getting a voice. We also learn about one stories. A single story creates stereotypes. The problem with stereotypes is not that they are untrue, but that they are incomplete. They make a story become the only story. And when I heard that, it made me realize that we do only hear one story and all the stereotypes of Canada or America or Mexico. Until we've actually experienced it, we don't fully know what to say. And that just showed me that even if you aren't close with somebody or something, don't ever judge by one story because texts and stories can always show deeper meaning, but they can also be plain and one-sided. Then we also saw a documentary called Girl Rising. It opened my eyes to realize that we're so lucky to be here. But not only that, the testimonies of the girls and the strength that the girls needed to share their story was a great amount, and I learned that no matter how complex people are, identities will always be different and show through at the times when you least expect it. And lastly, we watched a documentary called Louder Than a Bomb, and that hit me hard because their poems weren't just emotional or good, they were personal too. And my favorite poem was Counting Graves. And when they sang that or spoke it, it was touching and really deep, and it made you understand or feel or try to understand what they felt or they go through, because they're not the same as any other person in that room. Every single story is different. And that also means that our story is different. Not only different, but it's unique. And it's our own. And that was my reflection of the year of English 11. Thanks for listening. Bye.